Florianus was the 49th emperor of the Roman Empire, and his reign, though short-lived, came during a tumultuous period in Roman history, marked by political instability and military crises. His full name was Marcus Annius Florianus, and he ascended to the throne in 276 CE, following the death of his predecessor, Tacitus. Florianus was born around 200 CE, likely in the region of what is now northern Italy. Not much is known about his early life, but it is believed that he came from a noble background, which was common for individuals who would eventually rise to power within the Roman military and political structure. His early career is mostly obscure, but Florianus had significant military experience, which would later play a crucial role in his brief time as emperor. Before becoming emperor, Florianus held the title of Praefectus Praetorio, or Prefect of the Guard, under Aurelian. The Praetorian Guard was an elite group of soldiers responsible for protecting the emperor and maintaining order within the empire, which suggests Florianus was highly trusted in his military capacity. He was likely involved in key decisions and military campaigns during Aurelian's reign. In 276 CE, Emperor Tacitus died of illness or was assassinated, possibly due to a conspiracy within his inner circle, though the exact reasons remain unclear. Upon Tacitus's death, Florianus, as the Praefectus Praetorio, assumed control of the empire. It's important to note that during this period, the Roman Empire was not as centralized as it had been under emperors like Aurelian, and the succession of emperors was often contested, leading to a fractured and unstable political environment. Florianus's ascension to the throne was not uncontested. While he was recognized in Rome, his rival Probus, a distinguished general, was proclaimed emperor by the army in the eastern provinces of the empire. The situation quickly escalated into a civil war between the two claimants, with each side seeking to consolidate control over the empire. Florianus had the support of the Western legions, while Probus had the backing of the Eastern military forces. Florianus's reign was marked by military conflict and civil war, particularly with Probus. The most significant challenge was the ongoing threat from external enemies, including the Goths, Vandals, and other barbarian groups who had been making incursions into the empire's borders. In addition to these external threats, the empire also faced internal unrest due to the fragmented nature of imperial authority and the frequent usurpations of power. One of Florianus's first actions as emperor was to attempt to secure the loyalty of the military and to address the immediate threats from external enemies. He sent troops to combat the barbarian invasions and also attempted to stabilize the frontiers. However, Florianus was unable to fully deal with the simultaneous threat posed by Probus, whose forces were better organized and ultimately more successful in consolidating power. The two emperors fought for control of the empire, and despite Florianus's early efforts to defend his position, Probus gained the upper hand. Florianus's reign was further destabilized by the internal factionalism that characterized the Roman military at the time. There were divisions within the army, and various generals and commanders were often more loyal to their own interests than to any central authority. Florianus, despite his military experience, was unable to unify these factions and solidify his rule. This made it even more difficult for him to mount an effective defense against Probus. Ultimately, Florianus's reign came to a swift and tragic end. After facing military defeats at the hands of Probus's forces, Florianus retreated to the city of Tarsus in Asia Minor, which was a key stronghold during the conflict. As his situation grew more desperate and his forces dwindled, Florianus was betrayed by his own soldiers who defected to Probus's side. Realizing the futility of his position, Florianus is believed to have either been killed by his own troops or to have committed suicide in 276 CE. Following his death, Probus became the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. Probus's reign marked a brief period of stability for the empire, as he was able to defeat the various usurpers and threats to his rule. However, Florianus's brief reign highlights the deep divisions within the empire during this period and the challenges that any emperor faced in trying to maintain control over such a vast and diverse realm. Florianus's reign is often overshadowed by the more significant and well-documented reign of Aurelian, his predecessor, and the subsequent rule of Probus. Despite the brevity of his rule, Florianus's ascension to the throne and subsequent downfall reflects the political and military chaos that characterized the latter years of the 3rd century CE in the Roman Empire. The empire was undergoing a period of crisis known as the Crisis of the 3rd century, which saw multiple emperors, usurpations, and military conflicts, leading to a weakening of central authority and a fragmentation of the empire. Although Florianus was not able to achieve much during his reign, his role in the larger narrative of the Roman Empire during this crisis period remains significant. His reign highlights the volatility of imperial succession, the role of military power in determining leadership, and the challenges faced by emperors in maintaining authority over an empire that was constantly under threat, both from internal rivals and external enemies. In the grand scheme of Roman imperial history, Florianus remains a largely forgotten figure, overshadowed by the more prominent emperors of his time. Yet his short and turbulent reign serves as a reminder of the fragility of power in the Roman Empire and the precarious nature of imperial rule during one of the most difficult periods in Roman history.